Hey everyone! Oh, close that. Hey everyone, this is Alpha Omegasis. Where was I? Okay, stream. Yeah, hey, this is Alpha Omegasis. It's been a super long time since I've done a stream. Life has been pretty busy. There's been some family things that kind of cropped up. I had some obligations that I need to take care of on the weekends. And my laptop charger died. So, kind of the combination of the three really kept me from getting back to this modding stream, which I originally promised I was gonna be finished with everything by the end of March, and it's April 9th. So I'm really behind schedule, but it's not gonna stop me. I'm gonna continue on with this, and I'm going to finish this because I'm going to finish what I started here. And I decided that today was a great day to get back into it, so I worked really hard throughout the week, finished all my homework and my exams. Just kind of made sure I had a good chunk of about 4 or 5 hours to do some modding, some streaming modding, and hopefully I can tackle at least 2 to 3 sections. I already have one section kind of pre-done in a way. I kind of woke up this morning and decided I was going to tackle achievements and animation descriptions, which is basically, the achievements that you get in the game. So like, the greenhorn, cowpoke achievements. And then animation descriptions is basically the animation frames that the NPCs will kind of do in the world. So you can see like Abigail playing her flute, or Penny washing dishes, or just kind of all these things, just characters and different animation frames. So I kind of looked through these already, just because I didn't want to waste too much time having to dig through how to, but it's actually way simpler than I thought. So I'm going to start with achievements first, just because that's the best place to start in my opinion, and I already kind of worked with it this morning. So let's begin. So right here you can see that we open up our achievement.yml using XMB node. We got a list right here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And then we have a string. Now it's just a string followed by the hashtag exclamation string right here. And so you got greenhorn, 15k, earn 15,000 gold, true, -1, 18. Now this looks like it's supposed to be something fancy. I haven't seen anything. I know that this true value interacts with I believe it interacts with the GOG in Steam achievements. So if an achievement's associated with like Steam or GOG, this would be true. For our intents and purposes, we should have this for false today, because I don't know if we'd accidentally crashed Steam. And also, just be warned when messing with achievements via XMB modding, you might accidentally get or brick yourself from an achievement on Steam or GOG. Obviously, the process is reversible, delete your achievements file, get it back from downloading. But just be careful. Just always use caution when dealing with stuff, especially if you're like me and you like to earn achievements naturally. Now, this would be good for editing more achievements. So say, you're bored, you completed all 35 achievements because we got a 0. Excuse me. And you're like, man, I really wish there's more things to do in Stardew Valley. And so you can add more achievements in. Now, the problem is with achievements is getting these achievements are obviously here. And so normally with the stream, I could edit some values here, and we would get what we want in the game. However, achievements are hard-coded, so anything we edit here will just aesthetically edit like the description or the name of the achievement. Sorry, I'm facing some weird congestion because of the rain here. And so nothing we edit here is going to allow us to get our achievement, which kind of sucks, but thankfully there is a workaround to this. And so I did some digging, and SMAPI, the Stardew Valley modding API, actually has functionality for adding in new achievements via some code and getting these achievements in game. So normally I do this all in the XMB modding side, you know, editing the UML files. But today I'm actually going to show you some SMAPI code. So I went ahead and I made a small little mod in SMAPI called Stardew Valley Mod Achievement Test right here. And so for all of you who are super unfamiliar with code, let me clean this up real fast. No, I'm going to need that. So I'm going to have to see what I can and can't do here. So I'm just going to clean this up real fast. Try to make this very minimalistic so that you guys don't have to work with too much. So modding API events, Stardew Valley system. Okay, so this is kind of my code right here, so you don't have to worry too much about this stuff. This is, if you've never seen programming code before, don't worry about this fluff up here. Just know that it's important to making all this work. I'll post this code later, so that way you guys can see kind of a rough idea of how this works. Don't worry about any of this convention type stuff. I'll teach you some basic logic. So we have our mod, which I call my class, which is programming, and inherits something called the mod. So don't worry about this. Just know as long as you keep a simple structure, which is there's a general outline structure that SMAPI mods like to take, and so you don't even have to worry too much about that. I'll post this, and then you guys can kind of see what needs to be added in. And so this is basically saying public override void entries. Whenever you actually load up SMAPI or like Stardew Valley, like you click it, boom, that entry stuff is running right now. Like before you even see like the game or anything, it's that black console box. And so I've already made a few mods, and so it's just telling me. Yeah, I wanna close that because it's kind of loud. That's just basically telling me if I loaded in some mods, it's doing some stuff behind the scenes. So you guys don't need to worry about code convention. I'll try to simplify this code as simple as possible. So I mean, all you have to do really is write out some basic stuff, and we'll see where it goes from there. So this achievements is definitely a little more program savvy. It's not as simple as the simple XMB modding, and so a little bit of programming knowledge is made, but I'll simplify this as much as possible. And so let's begin. So there's something called time events and time of day change. So this is saying that inside my code, behind the scenes, SMAPI has something called time events, and it says time of day change. So when the time of day change, it's going to add a new thing called new time, which is basically just, it's going to call something called a function and run some more code inside of that function every single time the time of day is changed. And then Stardew Valley API.events.playerEvents.loadedGame plus equals game loaded. Now basically what this does is when the game is loaded, we will add in our achievements. Boom, done. See, so when the game is loaded, we will add in our achievements, and that's all handled right here in this little chunk of code. So you don't need to worry about anything that goes inside here. Just know that this is the name. And so what this basically says is when the player loads up the game, like once you click your player and it loads up the game and you're now in your farmhouse, it's going to add in all the achievements to the game, so that way it knows what to look for. And so we got game1.achievements.add. So we're adding in a new achievement right here, and we're going to give it an index number. And so I gave it index number 35 because on our achievement list we go all the way to 34. Now this can be any number. This could be number 82, 73, 9,999. anything basically. I just did 35 just to keep it nice and simple, and so no one freaks out. So this is a key value, and this is a string value, and so you notice how it has all that information beforehand. Right here, like greenhorn, earn 15K, blah blah blah. And so how this is separated is it's going to be achievement name, and then it's separated by a little caret top, or it's not an asterisk. It's I don't remember the name of what these are called actually. I feel kind of lame, but I can just call them caret tops. They're used in like exponents on computers and stuff. Don't worry about that. So it's achievement name, achievement description, and then it's false because that's is there a corresponding Steam achievement? So Steam/GOG. So I mean, we don't need to worry about that because we don't want to break stuff. A number and a number. Now I don't know what those last two numbers correspond to. I tried editing them in all sorts of different ways, and I didn't see any sort of aesthetic changes anywhere, so I'm not sure. I think it might correspond if the value would be true, but I don't know. So, and then we end it with quotation marks, just in case. And then, so that's kind of how that kind of flows out. And so now I have another thing called a function right here called newtime. And it says if, and the if statement basically says, hey, if something is happening, run the code inside these curly braces right here. So if our player is moving, do some code. And then this is going to be inside of our if period. So if our player is moving, add achievement get achievement 35, comma, which we defined up above. So this is pretty much the gist of it. And so there's all sorts of different if statements that you can do. So I mean, you can have anything for like if Stardew Valley dot game one dot player dot I don't know. Like if Stardew Valley dot game one dot player dot exhausted. Like if my character is exhausted, I could add in another achievement. So I could be like game1.achievements.add, call it 36, comma, exhaustion, separated by a little caret top. My character is tired, just like me. Caret top false, caret top, we'll put in like a 1 and like a 4 because I don't know what those numbers do still. So we'll add in it where when we load up the game, it'll say, hey, there's another achievement that we can look for now. And if my character is exhausted, game1.get achievement, and then I'll say 36, like I defined right there. So is anyone asking me anything in the chat? Nope. All right. So that's basically the gist of it. And so I'll put it up here. If our player is exhausted, aka 0 stamina left, do some code. And then inside of our if our player is exhausted. I know this sounds really redundant, but I know some people don't understand programming because sometimes it seems very out there. So I'm just trying to make this as clean cut as possible. Also, these little things right here, these double forward slashes, are called comments. And so the programming code themselves don't read anything that's in this green text or comments right here. But everything else, excuse me, like this blue, this red, this black, this turquoise, I guess, it'll read all of that. And so sometimes you might run into errors if your formatting isn't right. So that's why I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. Can I simplify that? No. Sometimes you need these little parentheses after a calling thing right here. It's a little tricky, but yeah. Let's see if I can simplify this. No, because I don't want this to get too complicated. So yeah, anyway, so if our player's exhausted, get achievement 36, which we defined up above. So now we have 2 achievements that we can get right here. Now I said new time, which is basically whenever the time changes, like by 10 minutes, it'll check for all your achievements, so it's not constantly checking, because sometimes that can bog down the game. And so let's load it up. This is just so it doesn't do a bunch of checking statements every tick update, which is about 30 ticks per second, I think. So instead, this is going to do a new update every 10 in-game minutes. So it's going to be less stressful on computers, so they don't have to be like, oh, is this happening? Is this happening now? Is this happening now? It will just be like, oh, every few seconds, it'll be like, oh, is this a true thing or not? So, I mean, obviously you can change it where it updates a lot faster, but proof of concept for the moment. So, no questions. Okay, so let's now this looks kind of weird. You're just like, how do I set this up in the first place? And don't worry, I'll go over that in just a second. So I'm going to just do some code stuff. I'm going to go up to build solution. Boom, I have one thing built. So I'm going to put it in over here. I already have a little mod folder set up for my test achievement that I was testing out earlier. I'm going to load up SMAPI. And let's see if I can't get my new achievements. So I have one achievement that will unlock if I'm moving, and I have another achievement that will unlock if my character is exhausted. So I'll load up a new character, or newer character. So I'll run around for a second. See, I got a new achievement. This is my new achievement. That was my movement. Now let's make my character exhausted. Yeah. Yeah, so now I just gotta wait for this to wear out. So I mean, achievements are really cool and everything. Let me turn that down a little bit, because that's kind of loud. So achievements are pretty cool and everything. I personally like them. I'm kind of an achievement hunter sometimes, depending on the game. And so I understand this isn't as easy as some of the other XMB modding, where it's just, hey, added a few little numerical values and you have a whole new thing. So I can see where this won't be for the faint of heart, technically, which is kind of a bummer, but I mean, it makes more sense logically why achievements are hard-coded into the game from a programmer aspect, but I could see where this could be a little confusing, but I mean, I'm always willing to help out you guys understand programming a bit. I mean, I'll add it to the guide for how to set this all up, so it's not as confusing. So I'm getting there slowly but surely. So I just gotta keep on waiting. Any day now. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show you guys kind of how achievements work in the game, because I know there's some confusion on my part as well for how to do stuff. You're starting to feel exhausted, thank you. Alright, and so I should get my achievement pretty soon. So now I'm exhausted. So there we go. I just got my achievement, exhaustion. See, notice how the time changed up here? Yeah, so now if I go into my collectibles tab, go to achievements, I got, this is my newest achievement. Or this is the one where I was moving, and exhaustion. My character's tired, just like me. I like how it's a little like smug star thing right there. So you know, these numbers might actually correspond to what image is shown, actually. I don't know where this is stored. This aesthetically changes how it looks, I believe. So there we go. That's adding in achievements. That's kind of the brief overview. Now that I've shown you how this works, let's actually get it set up, because programming can be confusing. So, alright, so I'm going to save this real fast. And so I'm going to close Visual Studios real fast, just so you guys can see how this works from the get-go. So what you need to do first is, we'll just go to my desktop, that's super messy. Delete that real fast, delete that. So first what we want to do is we're going to want to boot up Visual Studios. Now I have it down here in my task ribbon, but sometimes you might need to go like Visual Studios. And depending which version of Visual Studios you have, it'll pop up here. I'm just going to go down to my trusty task ribbon. So open up your Visual Studios, because I have two versions installed for some reason, which is kind of dumb. I'll have to fix that on my own time. And so you know, you got your Visual Studios thing. So you got new projects, open projects. You have a recent list of like things that you've done recently. So I mean, I've been working on some stuff on the side. So we can see here, there's our Stardew Valley mod achievement test. And you know, we can kind of look around if you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to New Project. Now, you want to go down to where it says Installed. And you want to go to Visual C#. And so you'll see a couple of things right here. You actually want to go to Class Library. That's what's going to give you a .dll file. See, a project for creating a C# class library, .dll. All you need to know is that you need this DLL, which is the mod type file for SMAPI in order for this to work. So we'll call this my first achievement mod. Or we'll just call this my first mod. Yeah, we'll call this my first mod just so it's simpler to type out. So this will be the name of the folder that was going to be created and the name of the mod. This can be changed later with some stuff, but don't worry about that right now. So I'm going to go to OK, and I'm going to be taken to this right here, which is a class1.cs. This is basically the name of the program code itself, and .cs is a .C#, which is a programming language which Stardew Valley is written in. So you got some stuff out here, remember before where I said don't worry about this? You're going to need to worry about this a little bit now. And so we're going to need some very specific things up there. So I'm going to need to use, first we're going to need to do something called adding a reference. And so this is pretty important. I feel like I should be taking screenshots for the thing, for the modding guide as well. Alright, show, let's actually work with the modding guide on this as well, so it's not as weird looking. So I'm going to just shimmy on down a little bit. BI achievements. This is going to be a little different. So I'll fix that in a bit because it's going to use a different methodology than before. Studios to I wish this was a little more user-friendly, unfortunately, but probably won't be that way. File, new projects. Select class library. I can add in screenshots in a bit. Select class library. Name your mod down below. Add in appropriate references to Stardew Valley.exe and Stardew API.exe and Microsoft XNA frame. Okay, so this sounds kind of gibberish right now. It also is a font way too large for my liking. So there we go. So open Visual Studios, file, new projects, like class library, file, open project. Oh, file, new project, file, new project. Class library, name it down below, click OK, cool. Name your mod, Valley exe, Stardew modding API.exe, and Microsoft XNA framework game.dll. You don't need Microsoft. Anyway, so now in order to add a reference, going to need to go here, going to need to go to references, add reference, so Alt I don't know if I actually copied it or not. Oh, it did. Nice. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. It's kind of awful. So I'm going to add references there. References. Add references. I know it's a really disgusting list. Ignore it, please. I just need Stardew Valley modding API.exe, Stardew Valley.exe, and that should be it, actually. I don't think I need the Microsoft. So now up above, you're going to need to type using Stardew Valley modding API. Make sure you have a semicolon, otherwise you're going to get an error. And using Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley. Make sure you have semicolons, otherwise we'll get that red squiggly underneath and your code will not work. Now, down below, we're going to need to set this up appropriately to work as API mod. So we want to go public class 1, this name does not matter, colon, and you want to type mod. That way it tells the game that it is a mod file. Then we want to use public override, and we want to call it entry, which is going to take, it'll tell you it's going to take a params object right there. And then look, I click in, it highlighted it for me, I click enter, and boom, right there, it already just adds that in. So we can erase this right here. So now, outside of these curly braces of our entry, I want to use, or right here, we can basically say Stardew Valley modding API dot inheritance dot, is it S object? No, it is not S object. Dot S game dot game 1 dot, it's not game 1. Oh, it's events. Sorry. So Stardew Valley modding API dot events dot time events. No. Well, you could do time events. Game events. Oh yeah. So if you want to have it update where it's a constant update sort of thing and it doesn't check every time the time changes in game, where it's doing a constant checking, you would do Stardew modding API dot events dot game events dot 1 second tick, and what that does is it checks every second if something is true or not. So you can then you do a plus equals, and then we're gonna name our events. Yeah, you could just do that right there. It's never happened to me before. Where basically you do plus equals, and then if you click tab right here, we'll say game events underscore 1 second tick, and press tab to insert. Automatically will make it for you, so you don't even have to type out the rest of this stuff, which is really nice. I just discovered this myself. That is really useful. Oh, hello there. Welcome to the modding stream. I'm currently showing everyone how to set up achievements and everything. Unfortunately, achievements are hard-coded into the game itself, and so I'm showing everyone how to set up an SMAPI mod to add in their own achievements, which is going to be super helpful in the future because unfortunately we can't do it via XNB modding. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm just kind of showing the proof of concept of how to make your own achievement mod. So I personally like to call these publics. But I mean, you can do a private if you want to. And so this is our public, our void. Don't worry about this stuff right here. It's not super critical for you guys. And then this is just the name of our checking functionality right here. So don't worry about this. Just know that it has, this stuff has to match this stuff. That's all you need to know. So every second it'll call our code down here and do some stuff. So I'm going to erase this, and then I'm going to be like if Stardew Valley dot Stardew Valley dot game 1 dot game 1 dot game 1 dot player. So if Stardew Valley dot game 1 dot player And then I can do dot, and then you can do all sorts of things here with the player. So you can do ifs. Ifs are checking statements if something is true. So you'll need to look for something called a boolean when you're kind of scrolling through this. Seed, you can check for if their spouse is true. So not necessarily boolean, but you can check, you can do all sorts of checking statements right here. If it's true or not. So resilience right running. So it could be like if Stardew Valley.game1.player is running. If my character is running, I can do some stuff here. But we also need to add in our if loaded. We need to add in our functionality for if our character is loaded. So I need to do Stardew Valley API.events, not entities, .events, load, events args loaded game change. No. It's events.player events.loaded game plus equals player events loaded game. I click tab. It's gonna throw that in there. So that way when our game is loaded, we got everything there. So now we have a functionality for when our game is loaded, things get thrown in. Game. So now we can do Stardew Valley.game1.achievements.add. And now we're back where we were earlier, where I did Stardew Valley.game1.achievements.add. I have a numerical value, so we'll call this 77. This is my favorite achievement. The name of this achievement will be called Cool Beans. Carrot top. This is my favorite achievement. Carrot top false. Carrot top. We'll call it 1. Carrot top 4. End quotes. Semicolon to get rid of that red squiggly. And so now when we load up the game, it'll say, hey, look, there's another achievement that you can look for added into the game called the Cool Bean achievement. Now it's called the Cool Beans achievement for all of you who watched Hot Rod at one point in your life. And if you have not, I can't say I would necessarily recommend it, but just know that's where it's from. Don't worry about it. So now I can go back down here where I can say back into my game events, 1 second tick. If Stardew Valley game 1 player is running, I'm going to do Stardew Valley game1.achievements.get good achievements. What was it again? .get Stardew Valley.game1.get achievement, and then I'm going to put some parentheses, and inside the parentheses I'm going to type 77, which corresponds with the number up here. Oh, so you do need game 1. You do need the Microsoft XNA framework game. So sorry about that. That was my fault. I wasn't completely sure if I needed that or not. So we need to go back to our references. We need to go to add reference and look for Microsoft XNA framework.game.dll. Checkbox that. Hit OK. Using Microsoft.xna.framework.gamer services. And then it should say I can do that. Yep, Stardew Valley.game1.get achievement 77. Cool. And that's essentially the mod for adding in new achievements. I'll add in some comments. This will check if our achievements are valid. Every real life second. This will add in our achievements to the game. More comments, nope. This is our new achievement. So I should probably, I think I might change this actually to, I might change this to something else because I already have my if moving in my other mod, testing mod. So let's change this to Stardew Valley dot game1 dot player dot Man, what do I do here? Fishing level flip, forging level, force time, found artifact, freeze friendships, gain experience. I mean, there's so many things I could have that aren't just associated with the player. Has greenhouse, has pets. If I have my pets, then I will get my Cool Beans achievement. And so there we go. So if my character has a pet, then I'll get achievement 77. Otherwise, it won't even bother. So I mean, you can do all sorts of things. You can look through the game's code and kind of determine if something is true, then this can be changed. Yeah, it's kind of the gist of it. I have a pet, do some stuff. Get my achievement for my character if I have a pet. And that's our new achievement mod right here, my first mod. So then what you need to do is, in order to compile this, you will need to go up to build solution. Now you need to go to where the file is actually stored. So you need to go to my documents. You need to go to your version of Visual Studios. So I have 2013 and 2015. This right here is 2015 Visual Studios. So I'm going to go Visual Studios 2015. Go to your projects. Go and look down for what you named it. So as you see, I have a lot of garbage, but we called it my first mod. Click my first mod. Click my first mod again. Click bin or bind, which is binary. Click that. Click debug, and then look for the myfirstmod.dll file. We're gonna hit Control-C, so we copy that. Now you're gonna want to navigate to where your Stardew Valley folder is stored. So I have a shortcut to my Steam Stardew Valley. There should be a folder when you have SMAPI installed. There should be a folder called mods. Click this. I'm just going to put this here for now. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm just going to copy one of my old folders for now, just so I don't have to deal with some stuff. I'm going to rename this myfirstmod.dll. Ooh. Nope. I'm just going to name this myfirstmod. I was derping for a second. Put my myfirstmod.dll inside the myfirstmod folder. Delete some extra fluff here because that's not necessary. Now there's a file that you'll need called the manifest file. This is how SMAPI actually checks if you are running folder, a mod thing. So there's some formatting here. So you got your name, which is going to be my first mod. The author, which is me right here, Alpha Omegasis. The version, which this is kind of just for people to understand what version of your mod you're running. Your description, which I'll say our first mod for the modding stream. Now this will show up when you load up the SMAPI console and load up Stardew Valley consequently. Now this entry DLL is critical. This is actually the name of the .dll file that's looking for. So our file was named my first mod.dll. Control S, so we save it. Now I'm using Notepad++ for all my editing. It's a very useful tool. I like it. You can see curlies and everything. It's all super cool. Control S, minimize. Cool. Now we should be ready. So I'm going to load up the Stardew Valley console box. Ooh. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. Stardew Valley.format.hasPet. Did I code something wrong? Maybe because public. This is the part where I sometimes goof on some things. Player events.loaded game. Copy that back over to the my first mod. Sorry, I gotta get back to it for a second. That's weird. I might have accidentally goofed something. I think I have a good idea of what I goofed. Because this was private and not public, but it should be public because things can go wrong if it's private. There. Now that should be nice and updated. Yeah, there we go. What? Or not. StarDewValley.farmer.hasPet. You know what? I think I know why this is breaking. It's because the 1 second tick is running for every second, regardless of if the game's loaded or not. So what I need to do here is I just need to do a little error checking where I need to say if Stardew Valley.game1.player.load. If Stardew Valley.game1.has loaded game, put some curly braces, put my code down below inside of that. If you want to do the 1 second, because before I was doing the game time updates, and so it wouldn't actually run the game time until after my character was loaded. But now, because I'm doing a 1 second update, I have to do another if statement where Stardew Valley.game1.hasLoadGame checks to see if my game has loaded yet? Question mark. Because I'm not sure just yet. Build. Sometimes these things break, and it's my goal to make sure I get this right. I'm waiting for it to break. Nope, good. So now it's checking to make sure if my game is loaded before doing any sort of second checking for my character. So it's critical that you have that if you're using second updates or tick updates, as opposed to game time updates. So I load up my character, and I already have a pet, so I get the achievement Cool Beans right away. So, see, right there, cool beans, right there, my favorite achievement. But that doesn't tell me anything. What about a character that doesn't have a pet yet? So I'm going to load up it again one more time. I'm going to load the U character because he does not have a pet. Don't ask why. So, see, I don't have a pet. No, haven't got my achievements. Gonna walk outside. Excuse me. Conveniently, there's my pet right there. I'm gonna talk to Marnie. Hey, kitty cat. Oh, man, I need to play more Stardew. Yes, I'll adopt my cats. I'll call it Meow Star. And as you could hear in the background, I just got my achievement right there. Hopefully it shows visually. Alright, well you heard the achievements. I go to my achievement tab. I got cool beans. This is my favorite achievement. So see, the second I got my pet, it hit the achievement thing, and there I go. There's my new achievement. And then there, look, because I was moving when the game time changed for my other mod, I got this is my new achievement. So there I go, folks. That's how you add in new achievements to Stardew Valley. Pretty cool, pretty fun. I personally like it. To make sure things don't break. Okay, so now I'm going to update the modding guide somehow. It's going to be a little more complicated than I thought. Just click here. Oh, no, I just need to click print screen. Computer, look for the appropriate files. How the code continues from here is vastly different. So I'll just post my C# code with comments so people can get an idea how it works. Yeah, there's no really good way to explain how to mod this in otherwise. Just kind of getting my C# code is the only really good way because everyone does something different with their coding. So I'm just gonna whoop-a-doop right there. That doesn't really work. Alt, print screen. I recommend. Apparently I can't spell recommend today. Oh, 2 M's. I recommend watching a YouTube tutorial for achievements since much of this section is a bit complicated if you don't understand coding. Achievement if I have a pet. This is my pet achievement code. I don't know if people can actually see this or not. Ugh. You have to zoom in like a stupid amount. I might have to host this. Alright, let's think. What service do I want to use to host this one? Do I want to use my GitHub or do I want to use my Pastebin? I think I'll use my Pastebin. Pastebin. Oh. Just make a new Pastebin. Log in. Don't remember my Pastebin apparently. Oh well. I don't really want to host more stuff in my drive. I'm running out of room. I guess I'll go to my GitHub. Oh, looks like someone starred my thing right here. Debug. Alright. So let's make a new folder. Let's call this folder achievement adding test. I don't want to put it in my main mod repository though. Do I still have my Dropbox? Because I never use that thing. Dropbox also has issues too. Wow, there are just no good hosting things right now. Whatever, I'll put it on my drive. I have a lot of old stuff right here. Folder, achievement. Actually, I do have a spare Gmail. There we go. Go into my secondary thing. I'll host it all here because I have 15 gigabytes here. Yeah, this will be my project hosting one. Stardew Valley. Also don't want you guys just staring at my sticky notes. That's kind of awkward. New folder, achievement, test, mod. Then I'm just going to dump all the contents of my first mod and achievement test into here. And I'm going to also throw out their respective source codes. My first mod and Stardew Valley mod achievement test. That will actually take some time. Less than a minute left. Just gotta wait for them to load up. Da-da-dum. So now what I can do is I can link you guys directly to that. So, achievement test, my first mod, class1.cs. I should make another GitHub repository for examples actually in the future. But for now, this will work. Share. I want to share this with people. People can view. Get the shareable link. Anyone can view this. Can I download this? Class1.cs. Yep, my first mod. There we go. All right. So I have that there. Because I just want to finish this up so I can keep moving on, so I don't fall behind. I'm going to take a small break between this episode and the next episode to upload the YouTube video and make myself some lunch. I still got some things that I got to achieve today. So where was I? Oh yeah. This code. This is the code that I use to add an achievement if my character is exhausted and if my character is moving. Uses in-game time for update checks and uses real life seconds for update checks. Now we can have achievements in. So let me just throw that up real fast. Open projects, Stardew Valley mod achievement test, print screen. I know because you can't really see the pictures, that's why I'm also posting the code, but this way you guys can double check to make sure if I'm not giving you something shoddy or weird. So now what I need to do is I'm going to go back here to, I can't really have documentation for achievements. It's a little more challenging. Yeah, Stardew Valley modding, achievement test. Share link. Sorry about that. There is the source for both of the achievements. Both of the achievement mods that I created today. Unfortunately, there isn't is not a super precise way to do documentation for this section due to there being a massive number of combinations to make achievements, but I'll try and add in a few ideas. Achievement documentation. If Stardew Valley.game1.player.money is equal to 1,000, game1.achievement. No, game1.get achievement. Nope. So it's a capital A. Get achievement. Stardew Valley.game1.player.money. Yeah, because if I was to type that in, if Stardew Valley.game1.player.money is greater than or equal to 1,000. Yeah, then I can do achievement there. Yeah, so that's how you do a money achievement. I mean, this really is pretty open-ended. I don't know any sort of ways. You definitely need some more programming knowledge in order to really work this out a whole lot better. if Stardew Valley dot game1 dot time of day is equal to 2600. Yeah. If it is 2 a.m. Yeah. Copy pasta. If it's achievements there, and so I mean you can do anything where you don't even just get achievements, where if this happens so many times, like if you become exhausted, you increment the counter by 1, and if your exhaustion count is like 10, it's just like, man, super endurance person of awesomeness and whatnot, which gives me a lot of ideas for making my own achievements, actually. But anyway, that's the general gist of adding in achievements via SMAPI. It's a shame that it's all hard-coded, but this is just kind of a general overview. This is just kind of a general overview for right now. Just some things you can do. I can't think of anything else I could super add in. Really, the best way to kind of figure this out is just experimentation, really. Just kind of figuring out what you can do on your own. Maybe looking at some tutorials for how to do some basic C# programming. I mean, I showed you guys how to do a basic setup of how to get an achievement mod working, but definitely explore some programming options on your own. And you can do some really wicked things where you could do something like, I don't know, with programming, you can be like, if the in-game character has seen like 10 rainy days, you could get an achievement called Rain Check. You could have it where if they use a tool so many times, you could get like where they use their axe like 1,000 times, get the achievement Lumberjack. Just kind of ideas like that. So really, this is all about experimentation. The best way to learn how to make your own achievements is via experimentation with the game's code. I recommend looking through everything and just commenting to see what does what, and looking up basic programming tutorials to get the most out of SMAPI and adding in your own custom achievements. And that's the best I can do with the achievement section. Sorry everyone, it's a little more challenging trying to do documentation for SMAPI, just because it's so massive. It would take me forever and a year to try to add this all in, but that's it. So I'll add this to the up above section of the guide. So streaming, table of contents, .xvi achievements, API. Yep, I mean you can technically add in achievements manually via the XNB mod. modding, but it is a little trickier. I wonder where the achievements thing went. Achievements.email. It disappeared. Oh, there we go. So I mean, you can add things where you can manually be like 35 colon my super cool achievement thing. But I mean, the problem with this is if someone else references achievement 35 in their mod here, you can do it. You can add in a physical achievement. Excuse me. You can add in a physical achievement here, but you don't have the way to obtain it in game. So, which is why I showed you how to do everything inside of SMAPI and Visual Studios. So that concludes this episode of the XNB modding stream. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back for the next episode where I'm going to tackle NPC animations and kind of see what we can do with everything, what we can't do. So I'm going to, it's in the guide. Technically, it's yes, but it's challenging. So now we've tackled achievements for today, which is our first step, and I'll be back in a little bit, so just hang tight, and then we'll go through animation descriptions. And at this point, I'm just kind of going down the list. We'll get there eventually, but 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 14 more sections to tackle. I think I can try to get at least 2 more in today. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. For now, Alpha Omega Sis signing off.